Hello everybody, Ben Rogers here, the Raptors Digest, here to react to the Raptors' 132-125 loss to the Oklahoma City Thunder. It's been a while since we've said the word loss when it comes to the Toronto Raptors, but it was bound to happen eventually, and it came against a good, hot Oklahoma City team. Very close game, and so much to talk about when it comes to how this game went. And we're going to have an unorthodox podcast. We're starting with a segment, the DeMar DeRozan Gold Star Award. We're starting with this one, and it has to go to the referees of this game. Listeners of the pod know that me and Riker don't like to blame referees for anything, and I'm not necessarily blaming the referees for this loss, but man, this was a very oddly ref game. Kyle Lowry tonight was fouled out. He had 6 fouls, only got to play 27 minutes, and he was by far our best player, in my opinion. He had 22 points, 10 assists, 4 rebounds, and did a solid job on Russell Westbrook when he was on the floor. And he just kept getting these ticky-tack, stupid fouls. Sure, you could call them if it was a grade 3 basketball game. You know, you don't want anyone touching each other, don't want anyone getting hurt, don't want any parents complaining. But when you have an all-star, a 4-time all-star, they don't get these foul calls on them. You could have called these types of fouls on Russell Westbrook this whole game, as he's just a maniac running into the paint. And obviously Russell Westbrook shouldn't be called that, and he isn't. But Kyle Lowry shouldn't either. You got to have consistency with it. It's absurd what happened to Kyle Lowry, and at the end of the game, if you watched, it seemed like the referees were throwing out everybody. DeMar DeRozan, the play that really sparked it off, because there's a lot of very obscure calls down the stretch, but DeMar DeRozan went in and just got hacked, slapped on his wrist on a completely wide open layup, and obviously he missed it because he got slapped on his wrist, and the no call, it was very blatant. The referee was right there. And then DeMar obviously complained, got a T, kept complaining, got thrown out. The game was over after that shot because Russell Westbrook hit a bank shot to ice the game. But DeMar got thrown out. Then it was off screen. Serge Ibaka got thrown out of that game too. And then the wildest part, Dwayne Casey just standing there on the sideline, not saying anything. Matty D said it was a fan screaming at the referee. The referee didn't care. He said, "Casey, you get out of here as well." The referees basically threw out 4 Raptors. They threw out our 3 best players, Lowry, DeMar, and Serge, and also threw out our coach. Which, I don't know. You're getting a DeMar DeRozan Gold Star referees of this game. They had to be taken out of the game with security all around them because when the referees left, because the fans were. It was the loudest I've seen Raptors fans so far this season, just screaming at the referees. So shout out to the ACC fans for not letting them get away with that. It's not necessarily why we lost, but it's just a really, really bad look. You're getting the DeMar DeRozan Gold Star referees. The Raptors also had no Fred in this one. So with Lowry playing in foul trouble, it was only DeLon Wright that they could really back up on. It would have been really nice to have Fred tonight. And yeah, now that we got the referee thing out of the way, we'll kind of give the breakdown of this game. At the very start, the starters just stomped the Raptors starters. It was really bad. As I said, Russell Westbrook, Steven Adams pick and roll, just ridiculous, eating us up. Jonas couldn't do anything inside the paint, which was kind of weird because we saw Jonas play really good defense against the Houston Rockets, James Harden and Clint Capella pick and roll, which, you know, in my opinion, is better than the Russell Westbrook Steven Adams. And obviously, it's led to a better record for the Houston Rockets. So, very strange to see JV just not be able to do anything. Only had 2 rebounds tonight and 10 points. Steven Adams owned him. JV may be Andre Drummond's father. As whenever Andre Drummond and Jonas play off, Jonas always gets the best of him. Always plays amazing. Well, especially this season, Steven Adams has owned JV, and it hurts me to say as a huge JV fan, but he really got the best of Jonas tonight. Not many welcome to Lithuania moments for Jonas, but that's all he can do. The bench mob came in second quarter and did bench mob things. They really brought the game back. After a tough start for the bench, they started hitting their threes, started getting their shots. Siakam was amazing in this game, 10 points, 5 for 5. CJ hit a bunch of threes. He had 3 threes, 15 points. And the surprise, the first quarter, the best plus-minus of the game for the Toronto Raptors. Bebe Nogueira came in for 6 minutes, had 5 points and 5 rebounds. I really wanted to see Bebe come in the fourth when the bench unit was going again, because he was awesome in the first, or his first run with the bench, because Yak and Jonas didn't really have it tonight. Yak, they were both okay. Yak was a little bit better than JV in my opinion, a little bit better on defense, but Bebe, his length, just his mobility, he really knew where to be. I want to see Bebe get a second chance to really give it a go, but unfortunately that was the last we saw of Bebe. And even Norm gave some good minutes in the first half, so very encouraging to see the 11th and 12th guys play well when they were called upon. I know you gotta, as a coach, you feel more comfortable going with a guy like Yak than Bebe, because Yak has been more consistent all season when they've given the minutes, but if a man's hot, give him some minutes. That's what Casey usually does, but I don't know. I'm sure they had a game plan. Dwayne Casey knows the game more than me, so that was whatever. DeLon Wright, with Lowry's foul trouble, he played really well tonight. 15 points, 8 assists. DeLon Wright has been really good the past week or so. He's been great all season, but he's really stepped it up the past week, especially with Lowry resting last game against Dallas. And yeah, obviously Fred not there tonight. I like to see DeLon Wright playing well. Hopefully, I think he could be a major key for us in the playoffs, especially with this length and athleticism. Very encouraging to see DeLon. And his three-point shot, that's another thing. DeLon's three-point shot has been cooking as of late. He only hit 1 of 2 tonight, but he's shooting it with so much confidence now. That's a very, very encouraging sign for the Raptors. DeLon Wright's a scary player without the 3-ball. The fact that he's shooting that consistently is awesome. But as I said, Fred wasn't there tonight. You could really see how the Raptors missed Fred in the fourth. Just that when the bench unit was out there, the bench mob always takes over other teams' inferior benches. At the beginning of the fourth, from that 12 to 7 minute stretch, that's when the bench mob really shows what they got. And obviously, the Oklahoma City Thunder, it's well documented. Their bench is just not good. Arguably their best player off the bench is Patrick Patterson. And I love me some Two-Pat. Two-Pat's great as a person, all that, but he did some classic Two-Pat things, missing open corner threes, and he plays good defense and is good on rebounding, but offensively he's definitely a liability, especially when he's not hot. So I love me some Two-Pat, but if he's your best player off the bench, it's going to be tough to compete with the bench mob. But without Freddie, they really didn't have that gas pedal at the end. They didn't, even though Lowry was out there, but Fred just got the chemistry with the guys. I think if we had Fred, this game could have went a lot differently, but obviously we didn't, and the result was what happened. So I don't know. The Raptors played well. Just rebounding. It's rare that you see Jonas get 2 rebounds in a game. Serge Ibaka was very cold after starting the game pretty well. We're on an 11-game win streak. I'm not worried about the Toronto Raptors. We were going to lose eventually. The past few games, we definitely played some inferior teams. We've been just beating teams at the very last minute. It took us OT to beat Dallas. But the Raptors played a phenomenal game, going against one of the hottest teams in the league in the Oklahoma City Thunder with a lot of talent. The Raptors had a lot of things going against them tonight. Fred was out. Lowry's in foul trouble. Some very, very weird calls down the stretch. And OKC was getting those calls, which I'm not saying it was bad that the Thunder got the calls, but it's good for them to go both ways. But I'll stop talking about the refs. But the Raptors, they played well. Nothing to hang our heads about. We just coming off an 11-game win streak. Raptors Nation, we're all good. So we'll get into the rest of the segments now. We got a new segment tonight. We've been looking to change the name of the play of the day for a while. We're not changing it completely. We're calling it the GOAT play of the day. So let us know what you guys think of the name change. We got a new graphic on the board. But the GOAT play of the day has to go to CJ Miles with absolutely thunderous, no pun intended, slam over Tupat. Looked like Tupat's career was about to be ended. CJ Miles, known as a three-point shooter, said, I'd settle in for this corner three. Came in, sparked energy in the Raptors in the fourth quarter. We wouldn't have made that run without that CJ Miles crazy slam over Patterson. That got me excited. CJ Miles low-key has some serious ups. He needs to bring it out more often. But not all plays can be the play of the day. And some just make you say, oh, geez. And we have a couple OGs play of the games tonight. First one, Steven Adams trying to get a rebound, ended up throwing the ball back into his own hoop. The basket was credited to JV, 2 of JV's 10 points. And as a Raptors fan, positive OGs play of the game tonight. And another one, Carmelo Anthony running for a loose ball, showing that hustle that you never saw in New York, but he's showing hustle now for the Oklahoma City Thunder, trying to get a loose ball, and ended up looked like the ACC was back into a hockey rink. He was going for the ball, ended up checking Nick Nurse in his chair. So obviously it wasn't too much force behind it. He's just going for the loose ball, but that's the sight I saw. Nick Nurse had a good laugh about it. Made me say, oh geez, as a Raptors fan. One positive, one kind of neutral. But Raptors lose. Their 11-game win streak is over. That's all you can do. Raptors will bounce back. Still first team in the East. Got a great cushion on the first seed. And losing this game almost takes a little bit of pressure off. Because when you're playing with a streak, we saw it with Golden State a couple years back when they were winning all these games. They're on a huge win streak. You never want to lose a break out of a winning streak. I don't know. I'm just rambling here. I think the Raptors are fine. I think everyone thinks the Raptors are fine. We played well down the clutch. As I said, a lot of factors went against it. That's it from me. Thanks for listening. You made it this far. Like, subscribe to the Raptors Digest. Got a lot of cool stuff coming. You see, we put some animations in the segments. And we appreciate all you guys. You guys are the best. I'm really excited for playoff time. We're going to try to do a lot of cool stuff with that. Follow the Twitter, follow the Instagram. We got live game tweets on the Twitter at all times. The Instagram, we got a game plan for the Instagram now. We're going to start posting on that more consistently. And so check all that stuff out. Thanks for listening.